Welcome to another episode of Lunch with the Shark. Join us as we dive deep into discussions about business, accounting, and finance to help you build a business that thrives. Now sit back and have a bite with your host, the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to a new edition of Lunch with the Shark. I am your host, Vidal, the Shark CFO Espinosa, and it's really great seeing you this afternoon. It's Thursday already. Damn, what's going on with time? It's flying. It's flying. And as you can see, I have a couple of boxes behind me. We have my co-host, Captain Crunch, who has just barely lay in his bed right next to one of his favorite toys. And I don't think he wants to be on camera. That's why he's hiding his face. But that Captain Crunch? And he's like, yeah, don't bother me. And then on my other side, I have a ice cream stand from my baby girl. So she's being showered. And oh, yes, the elephant in the room. I have boxes. Yes, I have boxes behind me because we're doing some home cleaning because we are moving. We are moving to a new house. So it's fun. It's fun. So let's dive right into our topic. And we are continuing with our independent contractor series. How fun was it yesterday with all our Q&A from actual clients that had those concerns? Isn't that fun? Did you learn a lot of stuff? Did you realize how complex the independent contractor issues are? What do you think about that? Send us any other question that you might have, and we'll try to answer them on the show. So we can provide more value. And let me remind you, your concerns, your questions are not just yours. Pretty much every single entrepreneur has had or has the current questions, the current concerns, the current issues. Okay, so send us your questions. And today, we're going to try to clear and teach you how to create deliverables for independent contractors through an independent contractor agreement. Remember, we're going to touch a couple of clauses that the independent contractor agreement must have. And we're doing it in our capacity as advisors, not as an attorney. We are not attorneys. We are not providing you legal advice. So please seek legal advice when it comes to agreements, okay? And mostly if you are hiring or you're contracting, if you're contracting foreign independent contractors, okay? We have been talking about the independent contractors and ways to make sure your business is protected. Remember last week, the onion, we have two layers. We have to layered, okay? We have talked about how you can get in major trouble if you misclassified your independent contractors as employees. Believe me when I tell you, it's not fun being audited in general, but mostly when they find the misclassifications and there's no slap in the wrist, because it's most likely yes than not that you knew that you were misclassifying them. Therefore, they take this very, very, very seriously, okay? To the degree that they can actually file felony charges in the state, county, and federally. Therefore, if they file felony charges, that trumps over county or state charges. Okay, so be very, very cautious when dealing with independent contractors. I actually had to let go of a couple of clients when I've sent them the complete file that they must have for independent contractors. And my only concern and my only duty is with our clients, right? So the only thing we're doing is protecting our clients' asses. Pretty much. We are an insurance company that it's protecting our clients from any possible non-compliance, and we're trying to mitigate or reduce as much as possible their liabilities. So I actually sent one of our former clients the file that they must have in their independent contractor folders, right? So when I request to review them so we can issue 1099s, she came back to me and she said, and I quote, you know what? I actually had issues with the independent contractors. They didn't want to sign. So I actually let them go. Like, that's okay. Just continue giving me services. It did not go for longer than 2 weeks when 3 of their independent contractors filed labor disputes with her for employment. Who are you serving? Are you serving yourself? Are you there to do whatever your independent contractors tell you? They're not comfortable. Are you just saying yes to everyone? Are you just trying to please everybody except complying with the law, complying with the regulations? She learned the hard way. And guess what? I resigned. I said, you know what? I can no longer be your external CFO. I can no longer provide you advice because you're just paying me for nothing. You're not listening nor following my advice. You're actually Googling, and Google told you that it was okay. Therefore, go to Google, ask Google to represent you in the labor dispute. She lost. She lost majorly, right? She lost majorly. Not because she lost us or me. That's beyond the point. She lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So one way to create or reduce your risk in misclassification independent contractors, it's to create an independent contractor agreement. And not even that will 100% mitigate nor reduce your liability when it comes to the independent contractors. Let me tell you why. Because let's say that you have created the independent contractor, both of the parties have signed, but you go ahead and give them an email from the company. You go ahead and print them business cards from the company. You go ahead and give them a laptop, a computer from the. You go ahead and send them an email saying, hey, I want this, and this, and that. And you have to be in the office or at your home desk by 8 a.m. so I can. What do you think that's going to look if they take you to a dispute? If they see unemployment when you terminate their engagement through their business scope, how is that going to show or look? Yes, the intention originally was for them, based on the independent contractor, to be independent contractors, free, external, right? But with all the control that you have giving them, they're not independent contractors. Please tell me, how can you fight that in the court of law or in the labor on a labor dispute, any attorney, and we're not attorneys, I've seen and I've had my fair share of hearings supporting clients as their accountant and providing tax returns and so forth, so on, in a labor dispute. And if you're in California, guess what? The labor board, it's 99.99% in favor of the employee or the independent contractor. I've been there. I've seen labor board arbitration employees from the state of California helping the employee provide evidence using their own office computers to download information that will harm the employer. I've been there. I've seen it. And even though they've gone to the extent of turning their faces and saying, you guys are winning, we're giving them all the information so we can get a negotiation. We are winning, but we want a negotiation for the employee. Careful, okay? Be very careful. This document, the independent contractor agreement, should contain all the necessary information pertaining to the work that will be performed. Payment details, confidentiality issues, and more. But to make it clear and easy to follow, the agreement should be divided into sections. Let's go through each section, basic sections. Remember, this is based on our experience. This is not legal advice, and we are not trying to provide you a template for an independent contractor agreement. Seek professional legal advice, okay? Let's go through each section and see the type of information that should be included. Okay. My first recommendation on this is that when you're hiring an independent contractor, you're hiring a freelancer. You're hiring somebody that it's probably, they have a gig. They have a side job. They're starting their own business as they still employed. Therefore, you're going to encounter that their mindset, it's as of an employee, because that's what they've been doing all of their life. And they want to face that. They want to face out of that, but it takes time. It takes experience. It takes energy. So beware of that, and don't try to help them that much. Support them, guide them, but don't give them things to give you, okay? When you hire an attorney, when you hire a reputable accountant, CPA, CFO, we have our own documents that our own attorneys have prepared for us, okay? We don't go and ask you as a client, hey, so-and-so, please send me your agreement. It's not on you to send me the agreement. It's on me, because even though you seek our support, we are seeking your business. Yeah, we're seeking your account. You don't walk into a bank and say, here's my new checking account agreement. Please sign it. No, they provide you their own, right? So your independent contractor, the freelancer, the gig worker, okay, the one that you're seeking services from, should provide you their own agreement, right? Don't hold their hand and tell them where to get it, how to get it, how to prepare it. It's an expense that they must incur because it's part of doing business, okay? The problem here is the mindset. And I would be very skeptical on hiring someone like that, that has no business mindset, or lack of business mindset, because it's not going to help me and it's not going to help you. Therefore, from that moment, when you ask them for an agreement and they say, oh, I don't have one, or I don't have a mutual non-disclosure agreement, or I don't know how to prepare a business proposal, you must be fully aware that you're hiring an employee disguised as an independent contractor. And in a mediation labor dispute, they're going to interview both of you in separate rooms. They're most likely going to believe the independent contractor because you're hiring them. You're actually giving them employment. Okay? So be very, very, very cautious when you do this. The first thing the agreement must contain are the terms. This is the first section of any agreement or contract and states the name and location of the parties involved. It also contains details about dates and description of the project and or the tasks to perform. Okay? I prefer to have them, if I'm seeking somebody external to our, and let's say that generally we seek marketing consultants or people that will work on our websites by projects, right? So what I do is I request them a business proposal. I said, hey, send me, how are you going to deliver it? What are your expertise? And actually, let me tell you what a business proposal from an independent contractor minimum must contain. I just send one for one of our clients, and an engagement scope or business proposal must include accountability. Okay, so I'm asking them to tell me which are going to be their duties and responsibilities. Listen, I turn it. What are you accountable for? What are your skills? What are going to be the deliverables? And how much is it to cost me? Okay, this is all after they reach out to me or I reach out to them and I say, hey, this is what I require. Now tell me, how is it going to be done? Okay, that's a business proposal. It's like when you call us and you say, hey, you know what? I need a tax return. I need accounting. So I send you a business proposal and I say, hey, these are my qualifications. This is what we're going to give you. And this is my deliverable, right? Our service, to a point, it's intangible. You don't touch it, okay? But at least I provide you certain documents, certain files, okay? So these are my deliverables. You can expect them on or before this date on every month or every quarter and so forth. We'll do this tax return quarterly. This is when it's due. This is when you'll get it. So that's a business proposal. So always seek a business proposal on top of and then after the independent contractor agreement, right? If you don't get a business proposal, most of the time, the business proposal will be in the form of the independent contractor agreement with the terms. The independent contractor agreement, you have to see it as the rules of the game that both parties are going to be playing under. Okay? You're setting everything, you're leveling the field, so nothing up for grabs. So nothing up for interpretation. You as an accountant, I thought you won't help me on eliminating my tax liability from 100 years ago. No, you did not hire for that. We requested our services from 2020 onwards. Anything prior, it's not included. And it's stated in our proposal. Oh, but I hire you. You need to. No, you hire me for this. Okay? And it's clearly marked in our agreement, right? So that should be on the terms. Responsibilities and deliverables. This is one of the most important sections, As the name says, this detailed description of each party's responsibility and what's expected to be delivered by independent contractor. This section should take more than a few paragraphs, but should be detailed enough so it's clear what expected as the outcome. However, if the project is large and includes a series of milestones, it's best to attach the worksheet and offer to the agreement as an attachment. Here, you're going to say one by one, what is it that you're going to do? What is it that you're expecting? Listen, this is not a job description. Forget about that. I've had people send me as their independent contractor agreement a document titled job description. I immediately discard those individuals simply because of their mindset of an employee. We are not seeking employees if we're seeking independent contractors. We are seeking partners that are going to help us grow our business to the next phase so we can hire employees. That's the mindset that you should be looking and focusing on. So you should outline, they should outline their responsibilities and your duties. Yes, you as the contracting party have duties. We ask our clients to provide us bank statements, receipts, evidence, supporting documentation, access to the bank account, this and that. If we don't tell them from the get-go, they're going to think that we are magicians and we're going to peer their documents by, I don't know, by magic. Like, boom. Oh, there it is. Huh. No. Oh, I assume that the taxes were included. Really? Oh, I assume. So you must clearly state everything that it's deliverable. Everything. Everything that you are going to do. Everything that you're supposed to provide them. As detailed as possible to avoid any confusions or issues down the line. Payment related details. Here, it should be specific how the payment will occur. Per completed milestone, at the end of the project, if there is an advance in payment, and more. Here are some recommendations on payment. Look, the independent contractor should send you an invoice. Okay? If, and this is something really funny, if the independent contractor agreement, it's getting a check every 15th and every 30th for the same amount, what do you think they're going to think that individual is? Do you really think that it's an independent contractor? No, it's not. It's constant. It's consistent. 15th, 30th, $1,500, $1,500, or whatever the amount is. $2,000, $3,000 every 15th and 30th. Dude, come on. Really? It's very obvious. And when you get audited, let me tell you one thing. The auditor, it's not their first rodeo. The auditor, it's going to want to become your friend so they can get all the information because you're going to feel comfortable with them. And you're going to spill the beans, whether you like it or not. They're going to take the information out of you using psychology. Been there, seen it. So be cautious, okay? The independent contractor has to send you an invoice, and you utilize your internal controls to pay any vendor. They're another vendor. Captain Crunch. I've come to actually just call clients and say, hey, dude, they need to be an employee. Oh, the independent contractor wants to be paid on the 15th on the dot, but they haven't finished the part of the engagement. Oh yeah, but on the 15th and the 30th, it doesn't work like that. You truly know that they're employees, so be careful on that. So invoices are required for all work. One payment once or twice a month with a due 30th. Okay, so if your vendor can send you a not due. You're gonna take 10, 15 days or whatever you take, which is common practice. I'm not saying to do it. Maybe it's unethical. Maybe you have another practice, whatever. But generally takes 15, 30 days to pay an invoice, right? What does that mean is that your independent contractor gets paid 30 days after they submit your invoice. You always have to get a W-9, W-8 Ben, W-8 Ben E prior to disbursing their very first payment. That's a must. That's a must. Okay? Pay by a way you can track payments, check, bank wire, any application of sending money. If they're sending you an invoice via PayPal, ask friends and family because they want to avoid the merchant fee because it's too much on their cash flow. They have to send you the invoice and they have to provide you the W-9 and W-8 Ben, W-8 Ben E, so you can send them a 1099 at the end of the year. Most likely, they're not going to like it, first of all. Second, if they register through PayPal as business, PayPal will send on your behalf the 1099 because they're utilizing PayPal as a merchant service. And at the end of the year, they'll receive a 1098 from PayPal. Pay them on a different day than your employees. Please, please. Confidentiality clauses. If you don't have a mutual non-disclosure agreement, confidentiality agreement, make sure that the agreement that you're signing with the independent contractor has a confidentiality clause and a NDA, non-disclosure agreement. You want to make sure you know how and work process are protected, which is why you usually should include such clauses in the agreement. If this section needs to be more extensive, it is best to replace it with an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and a non-compete agreement. Most of the times, non-compete agreement won't stand, so forget about that. That will be signed as a separate document. Contract termination. If the project is terminated before the established end date, this section will define that, which are the acceptable terms and conditions. Also, you may want to protect your own interests by including a clause that obligates the freelancer at compensatory payments should be project suffered delays or certain conditions are not met. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't deliver it to you by the due date. I'll deliver it to you in 2 weeks. Okay. Choice of law. This specifies the state law under which the agreement will be enforced, which is usually where the work is being done. However, if the company has its headquarters in a different state, they may prefer to subject the agreement to that other state. Whew. A couple of months ago, I had a very interesting exchange with somebody from Europe that was supporting a client here in California prepare independent contractor agreements. And she's not an attorney. she's offering legal advice in the state of California, even though she's abroad. And when I read the agreement, remember, I am not an attorney. I have some experience on reading agreements. That's what we do. We support our clients. And I immediately called our attorney, right? And I said, hey, you know what? Look at the email I just sent you. The jurisdiction on the agreement that she had prepared, I'm not kidding you, was the world. I'm like, what do you understand, or what can you help me here? I asked the attorney, can you help me here understand? Because I can't understand if I say to my client, you know what, yeah, do whatever you want, but my advice is have this agreement redone by the attorney, because what court of law are you going to use? What jurisdiction are you going to use in case of a dispute? And the agreement read, the jurisdiction for this agreement, it's any international court accepting this possible lawsuit. I am like, what the fuck? You're stating the court of law, the world. I'm like, you need to be clear onto where any legal action can happen. Either is it the country where the foreign independent contractor agreement is delivering me the service, or my state, or pick one, right? Obviously, our client ended up letting this person go because of that, right? So the attorney prepared the agreements, but be very careful. This would have fucked our client. Be very careful. One key thing to keep in mind is that you are hiring the independent contractor, and if they don't like the terms of the agreement, then you can usually find another independent contractor that would agree with them. You will to make sure you have your agreement reviewed by an attorney, and to make sure it gives you and the independent contractor maximum protection. Remember, don't try to make the agreement or have them review their agreement and make it very biased towards you or biased towards them, because the court most likely will eliminate those clauses. Independent contractors can be tricky, so we have created an independent contractor guidelines and internal control documents to help you understand how to help reduce the risk of misclassification. Send us an email or visit invictus-advisors.com/IC contracts, I think, or something like that, IC, to get a copy of it. It's actually going to help you avoid a couple of headaches. Okay, so many times when you look at Facebook, you can get lost into scrolling throughout without seeing stuff that will help your business grow. To focus on your business, you need to get information that is relevant. By getting notifications on Facebook, you will get concrete, actionable steps you can implement right away. To get our notifications, Jesus, take the wheel and play the video. First, you want to go to the right-hand side and click the three little dots. Select Follow Settings. Click the little button that says See First, and then select the button that says Standard. This will make sure you get all the content that we post from Invictus Advisors USA on your Facebook. Follow us also on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, and I don't know, any other social media that it's out there. And today's quote comes from Ben Silberman, founder of another social media, Pinterest. And he said, don't take too much advice. Most people who have a lot of advice to give, with a few exceptions, generalize whatever they did. Don't overanalyze everything. Just build things and find out if they work. Dude, don't overthink it. It's been great seeing you today. Bon appetit. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to Lunch with the Shark. If you would like to set up a consultation with the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa, visit his website www.invictus-advisors.com and don't forget to subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn.